The Dwarves, a people carved from stone, tempered by fire, and set loose upon the world with the blessings and curses of the gods. They are the architects of empires, the delvers of the deep, and the custodians of one of the most complex and tragic histories in all of Edegan. But who are the Dwarves today? What remains of their once mighty empire? And how did they adapt to life after its collapse? This is no simple tale of stone and steel. This is a story that spans millennia, from their divine creation to their modern, fragmented diaspora. Today, we'll explore every facet of Dwarven life. Their history, their religion, their music, their food, their traditions, and so much more. Let's dig deep and uncover the heart of the Dwarves. The story of the Dwarves begins at the celestial forge of Durukeln, known to his children as the Forge Father. Durukeln is one of the faces of the domain of Forge, the divine embodiment of craftsmanship and creation. Legend holds that Durukeln shaped the Dwarves from stone and metal, breathing life into them with the divine spark of fire. From their first breath, the Dwarves were set apart, not as warriors or conquerors, but as builders, artisans, and stewards of the earth. Durukeln bestowed upon them a gift beyond measure, the ability to shape the world as they saw fit. And so the Dwarves began carving their homes deep into the mountains of the Drakenrens, founding the first great cities, Edegan and Dunderkin, which would become the cradle of their civilization. Driven by an insatiable need to expand, the Dwarves undertook one of the most ambitious projects in history, the creation of the Deeproads. This network of underground highways connected every Dwarven settlement, allowing trade, culture, and ideas to flow freely across the empire. The Deeproads were more than a means of travel. They were a symbol of unity, a physical representation of the Dwarves' desire to bind their people together across the vastness of Edegan. Along the way, the Dwarves encountered other subterranean civilizations. They formed peaceful relations with the Myconids, who taught them the art of mushroom cultivation, a staple of Dwarven cuisine to this day. But not all encounters were so friendly. They also waged a brutal war against the mysterious Horned Ones, driving these malevolent creatures into the deepest crevices of the earth. Through it all, the Deeproads grew, linking citadels from the Drakenrens to the farthest corners of the continent. The Dwarves were building an empire, not just of stone, but of culture and identity. This was the age of high magic, when the domain of Arcana was unbound and magic flowed freely across Edegan. The Dwarves embraced this power, blending it with their innate craftsmanship to create wonders beyond imagination. Their crowning achievement of this era was the magic tablets, rune-engraved slabs capable of storing centuries of history, knowledge, and innovation. These tablets preserve the entirety of Dwarven culture, allowing them to flourish with a sense of continuity unmatched by any other race. But the boundless magic of Arcana was a double-edged sword. As mortals across Edegan pushed the limits of their power, they created horrors and disruptions that would echo through the ages. It was a time of unparalleled creation and unparalleled hubris. The golden age of high magic came to a cataclysmic end with the splintering of nature and the binding of Arcana. This event shattered the natural order, splitting the twin moons of Arboreum and Sharikun, and unleashing devastating floods across Edegan. For the Dwarves, the consequences were catastrophic. The binding of Arcana rendered their magic tablets inert, erasing thousands of years of meticulously recorded history. Entire eras of their past were lost in an instant. Amid the chaos, Durukeln departed Edegan, leaving his children to forge their own path. His parting gift, the Forge of Creation, allowed the Dwarves to craft the Warforged, living constructs intended to protect them from the dangers left behind by Arcana's folly. But without the divine patron, the Dwarves were on their own. Despite these setbacks, the Dwarves rose again, entering an era of unprecedented expansion. The Deeproads reached their zenith, connecting dozens of citadels across Edegan, and the Dwarves' empire stretched to every corner of the continent. But as their empire grew, so too did their conflicts. The magiocracy of Ancient began using Duronite, a metal the dwarves considered sacred, in their spells and rituals. This desecration led to a war that would forever alter the course of dwarven history. The dwarves' Warforged armies, though powerful, were devastated in their attempts to invade Ancient. Worse still, the war fractured the empire, as citadels like those in the Valley of the Three Kings broke away, angry at the cost of what they saw as a religious crusade. And then came the plague. The Darakhul, intelligent undead driven by the call of void, swarmed up from the deepest tunnels. The dwarves, already weakened by war and infighting, were utterly unprepared. Many fled to fortified citadels, sealing themselves off from the Deeproads. Others were forced to the surface, where they adapted to entirely new ways of life. The once unified dwarven empire fragmented, and the Deeproads, once a symbol of unity, became a broken labyrinth of danger and decay. The Darakhul eventually reached Durukeln, the capital of the empire. After a prolonged siege, the city fell, marking the final collapse of dwarven unity. And today, the dwarves are a fractured people. The great citadels of the Drakenrens, like Undaken and Morelane, preserve the traditions of the old empire. But surface dwarves, like the River Dwarves and the Valley Dwarves, have created entirely new cultures, shaped by their surroundings and the influence of neighboring races. Their calendar, the Stone Script cycle, remains a unifying force, marking festivals like the Kilrim Flame Games and the Solemn Dread Night. Their music too reflects their diversity, from the traditional horns and drums of the Drakenrens to the electrifying roar of stone music pioneered in the Valley of the Three Kings. To truly understand the dwarves, we must look beyond their history and into their daily lives. Though fractured by time and distance, their shared heritage shines through in their cuisine, dress, music, and physical characteristics, even as each community adds its own unique flavor to the mix. The Drakenren dwarves, the most traditional among their kin, hold fast to their ancient ways. Living in the shadowy halls of their citadels, their culture reflects their connection to the stone. Cuisine. Their diet is shaped by the subterranean world. Mushrooms, first cultivated with the help of the myconids, form the backbone of their meals. Roasted, stewed, or pickled, these fungi are paired with the meat of giant lizards, which the dwarves raise in vast underground pens. Lizard eggs, rich and flavorful, are considered a delicacy. Drakenren beverages are equally robust. Stone brew ale, thick and hearty, is a dwarven staple. Glowcap mead, brewed from luminescent mushrooms, is a rare treat reserved for special occasions. Dress. Drakenren clothing is practical and muted in tone, reflecting their connection to the earth. Grays, browns, and greens dominate their wardrobes, often crafted from sturdy wool or leather. Accessories are simple yet meaningful, stone and metal jewelry engraved with family or clan symbols. Music. Their traditional music is heavy and resonant, relying on deep drums and mournful horns. These instruments echo through the halls, creating a sense of grandeur and reverence. Harmonized chants often accompany their music, blending history and melody into a single powerful art form. Appearance, pale skin from generations spent underground, Drakenren dwarves have dark hair, black, deep brown, or dark red, and eyes in earthy tones like gray or hazel. Beards are a point of pride, intricately braided and adorned with metal rings bearing runes of ancestry. The River Dwarves of Teldaria are a people of adaptation. Forced to the surface during the plague, they built their lives around the rivers that sustain them. Cuisine. Fresh fish and river greens dominate their diet. Smoked fish, fried flatbreads made with mushroom flour, and light stews are common fare. River Dwarves also trade for grains and spices, which they use to add variety to their meals. Dress. River Dwarves dress for practicality. Lightweight, breathable clothing in blues, greens, and whites reflects their aquatic environment. Hats and durable leather boots are essential for river travel. Music. Their music reflects the flowing nature of their lives. incorporating flutes and stringed instruments to create melodic, rhythmic compositions. It's lighter than the music of their Durukeln Wren kin, often performed in small groups at riverside gatherings. Appearance, exposure to sunlight has given river dwarves a more tanned complexion. They also defy tradition by shaving their beards, choosing to adopt the styles of their surface-dwelling neighbors. And the Valley Dwarves of the Valley of the Three Kings have forged a culture that blends ancient tradition with surface innovation. Known for their bold attitudes and creative spirit, they've carved out a unique place among the dwarven diaspora. Cuisine, living in a fertile valley, these dwarves combine underground staples with surface agriculture. Mushroom stews are enriched with grains and vegetables, while meats are spiced with herbs and roasted over open flames. Dress, Valley Dwarves favor brighter colors than their underground cousins, often reflecting the seasons with yellows, oranges, and light browns. Embroidery featuring grain or vine motifs is common, showcasing their agricultural roots. Music. The Valley Dwarves are the creators of stone music, a fast, loud, and rebellious style that uses magically amplified guitars and drums. Stone music is a cultural phenomenon, blending the rhythms of traditional dwarven chants with the raw energy of surface innovation. Appearance. With their lives fully on the surface, Valley Dwarves tend to have lighter hair, chestnut or sandy brown, and a sun-kissed complexion. Like the River Dwarves, many Valley Dwarves shave their beards, though some keep short, trimmed facial hair as a nod to tradition. From the shadowy halls of the Durukeln Wrens to the rivers and valleys of the surface, the dwarves have adapted to every challenge. Their cuisine, dress, music, and appearance reflect the diverse paths they've taken, yet all are bound by a shared legacy of resilience and creativity. Though fractured, the spirit of the dwarves endures, manifesting in the stone-colored robes of the Durukeln Wrens, the flowing melodies of the River Dwarves, and the electrifying beats of stone music in the valleys. Each community is a living testament to the ingenuity of their people. The Dwarves of Edegan are more than their history. They are resilience incarnate. From the splintering of the gods to the fall of their empire, they have endured every challenge thrown their way. Though their paths may diverge, the heart of the dwarves remains unyielding, written in stone and fire. If you enjoyed this journey into dwarven lore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me, what part of their story fascinates you the most? This is the Wednesday Wizard signing off. Until next time, keep your lanterns bright and your hammers steady.